News out today, just breaking. This out of the Associated Press. I'll share with you this story. So we apparently have learned that the country of Ukraine has used U.S. weapons to strike inside Russia in recent days. This is according to a Western official familiar with the matter that is being cited by AP. The weapons were used, quote, under recently approved guidance from President Joe Biden, allowing American arms to be used to strike inside Russia for the limited purpose of defending Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city. The official was not authorized to comment publicly on the sensitive matter and spoke on condition of anonymity. Biden's directive allows for U.S. supplied weapons to be used, again from AP, to strike Russian forces that are attacking or preparing to attack. Look, this is unfortunate because I see this as an escalation in this attack. In other words, now they're using U.S. weapons to take this further, not just allegedly to protect Ukraine, but maybe this is going more on offense. And that's difficult right now. And this is why I'm saying you really need sophisticated people at the table that understand all angles. Joe Biden, going back to the Wall Street Journal article that came out this morning in the paper late last night, it first broke, and they have all these sources, 45 of them, saying Joe Biden used to be really talented at being able to negotiate and really understand what the other side wanted, but he can't do that anymore. And let me just be very clear, I don't think he has a very talented Secretary of State. I don't think that Antony Blinken has made the right decisions, whether it be Afghanistan, whether it be not using diplomacy and the tools of diplomacy, which, yes, include tariffs. You know, before you start shooting the weapons off here, there, and everywhere, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much if you use the financial tools at your disposal. But nobody thinks like that. Instead, it goes straight to this escalation. But this is something that John McCain, the late John McCain, I've played some of you who are faithful listeners on this show. If you're just joining us for the first time, you're going to hear this. I think this is really important to hear, and I'm going to keep replaying this because as we get into these conflicts, as they escalate, I think you got to remember what John McCain said back in 2014 about Antony Blinken, who then was up for the position of Deputy Secretary of State in the Obama administration. McCain said, look, I don't like having to make these blanket moves. I think that elections have consequences. You should be able to choose whoever you want, but I have a real problem with Blinken. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Blinken has been the advisor to Joe Biden basically his whole career. And Joe Biden has been spot on wrong on everything, which means Blinken's wrong, in my estimation, on everything. Here's McCain warning about this 10 years ago.
Madam President, I rise to discuss my opposition to the pending vote concerning Mr. Tony Blinken, who is not only unqualified, but in fact, in my view, one of the worst selections of a very bad lot that this president has chosen. I hope that many of my colleagues will understand that not often do I come to the floor to oppose a nomination of the President of the United States because I believe that elections have consequences. In this case, this individual has actually been dangerous to America and to the young men and women who are fighting and serving it. Let's just review some of the elements in particular and Mr. Blinken's role in conceptualizing and furthering it.
Wow, right? So that kind of tells you everything you need to know. Pretty strong statement from McCain. Now, whatever you think about John McCain, think about where we are right now, because that was actually a pretty prescient thing to say, in my estimation anyway, and worth thinking about in a time like this, ladies and gentlemen, as we see this sort of escalation on the international front of things. Pretty disappointing, frankly, to see. Pretty darn disappointing.